Chapter 7 Giving Blessings. Yi Tian was someone that Xue Fanxin had accidentally saved 3 years ago. From then on, he had been staying in the Duke's estate and had become his right-hand man. Although he did not treat the original host badly, he was not good to her either. In fact, he was like this to everyone. He was gentle, refined, and polite. Especially to women, he would maintain a gentlemanly distance. But there was one exception: Li Yao Yao. Everyone in the Duke's estate knew that Yi Tian liked Li Yao Yao. However, Xue Fanxin liked Yi Tian. As the real heiress of the Duke's estate, her status was much higher than Li Yao Yao's, and she also had Xue Fanxin's favor. Hence, Li Yao Yao always used this as an excuse to reject Yi Tian's feelings. If she rejected him outright, so be it. However, Li Yao Yao always acted like she liked Yi Tian, but was helpless because of Xue Fanxin. It was precisely because Li Yao Yao would pretend to be pitiful and innocent in front of Yi Tian from time to time that he hated Xue Fanxin more and more. When he saw her, he always had a bad attitude. He would even ignore her outright. However, Yi Tian had already expressed his feelings to Xue Fanxin a few times and rejected her. Unfortunately, she refused to face the reality and refused to let go or give up. But the current Xue Fanxin was no longer the same. She did not have any feelings for Yi Tian. Facing his rejection, she readily replied, "Oh, I understand. Don't worry, I won't pester you anymore." This outcome surprised Yi Tian. He looked at Xue Fanxin, who was still nibbling on the drumstick, in disbelief and thought that he had heard wrong. "What did you just say? You won't pester me anymore? From the moment I was pushed down the cliff by Li Yao Yao and my life was hanging by a thread, I no longer liked you. Furthermore, I now realize that you aren't that outstanding and aren't worthy of me. Why should I waste my feelings on a man who doesn't love me?" Yi Tian looked at Xue Fanxin in shock, as if he was looking at a stranger. Because of his surprise, he seemed to have missed the part where Xue Fanxin had mentioned that she had been pushed down the cliff by Li Yao Yao. He only remembered the second half of her sentence. Why did he feel that Xue Fanxin seemed to have changed today? Was it his imagination? It must have been his imagination. Yi Tian did not think too much about Xue Fanxin. Even if she had changed, she was not his type, so he said solemnly, "I hope you can remember what you said today, Miss Fanxin." No matter why Xue Fanxin had become like this, as long as the result was according to his wishes, it was enough. Without Xue Fanxin stuck in the middle, he and Yao Yao could finally be together. He really couldn't wait to tell Yao Yao the good news. Xue Fanxin finished her drumstick and threw the bone on the table. She looked up at Yi Tian, who was smiling blissfully, and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly to reveal a sinister smile. However, it disappeared very quickly. She said to Xue Fanxin, "Grandpa, what's that saying? A gentleman is always willing to help others achieve their goals. My little Xiner has become smarter. She actually knows the phrase 'a gentleman is always willing to help others achieve their goals,'" said Xue Fanxin happily. He felt that his granddaughter had become much smarter than before. Good. Perhaps when I fell off the cliff, too much wind blew into my head and cleared up the fog, so I became smarter." Xue Fanxin randomly found an excuse to cover it up. Then, she looked at Yi Tian and continued, "Grandpa, Yi Tian and cousin Yao Yao are in love with each other, so why don't we give them our blessings? Little Xiner, do you really want to fulfill their wishes? Do you really not like Yi Tian anymore?" Although Xue Fanxin admired Yi Tian did not like little Xiner. Even if he forced him to marry her, she would not be happy. This kind of thing could only be thought through by little Xiner. However, he had not expected her to suddenly think things through. "Grandpa, I have higher expectations for my other half now. Yi Tian doesn't meet my requirements, so I don't like him." Our duke's estate hasn't had a wedding for a long time. Why not we take this chance to have a good time? I want to see if the arrogant Li Yaoya will really be willing to marry the penniless Yi Tian. Xue Fanxin looked at the blissful smile on Yi Tian's face and mocked him in her heart. What an idiot, he doesn't even know that he's been deceived by that woman.